on the occasion of kindergarten and elementary school registration week, which runs until February the 4th. The English Montreal School Board is celebrating our commitment to diversity and inclusivity. At Face School downtown, kindergarten students have been getting a visit from the EMSB's top educational consultant on sexuality education, Jamie Quinn, and together with the school's spiritual and community animator, Elizabeth Pellicone, teacher Christine Philp, they're guiding students through an exploration of expressing emotions. Through in-class activities and conversations, students are learning how to express needs and wishes when experiencing a variety of emotions in a safe and inclusive environment for themselves and their peers. Joining me now is Jamie Quinn. Hello, Jamie.
Hi, Mike.
Good to have Jamie with us. And we also have teacher Christine Philp, our spiritual and community animator, Elizabeth Pellicone, and kindergarten students, Annika and Daniel. Hi, Annika.
Hi.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
All right. This is so fantastic because what we're doing here, it's all about kindergarten registration. And a year ago, Annika and Daniel's parents made a decision to send their children to the English Montreal School Board, and we're hoping others will do the same. So let me ask the staff first, starting with Jamie. Jamie, what have we been doing with the students?
So the students are obviously learning how to express themselves with their emotions and feelings. And with Elizabeth, we've been working with them, talking about that all emotions are okay. Whether you're feeling sad or angry or mad, they're all okay to feel. So this will obviously help them later on in their relationships and how to communicate what's wrong, or if there's something good or something bad, they'll be able to communicate that very easily starting out in kindergarten.
So Elizabeth, you've been assigned to this school for a number of years. You're assigned to a number of schools. What's it been like working with kindergarten students on this topic?
Oh, I love working with kindergarten students. They're so open to trying different ways of interacting with each other, and they're very curious and open to forming new relationships and having healthy relationships with each other. So when I talk about emotions with them, when I talk about consent with them, when I talk about expressing themselves with them, or trying different ways of how we can embody our feelings, how we can work through our feelings, how we can talk to each other about our feelings, they're always open to learning this information. So I love working with kindergarten. They're so cute.
Now, Christine, it's been a long time since I've been in kindergarten. It's been a long time since my daughter, who's now 24, has been in kindergarten. So it's hard for me to relate, but kids are pretty capable of understanding a lot of compelling issues, aren't they?
Absolutely. I think that the whole world can sometimes underestimate the ability of these wonderful students that I get the fortunate opportunity to spend my days with. I've been a kindergarten teacher for 12 years, and I have to say that I'm very proud to work for EMSB because of the professional development that teachers and staff can attend in order to grow with the changing needs of our students. And I'm very happy to be a part of that. And I can say that it feels great to have this, influence and to help them, learn how to be human, essentially.
Yes.
I'm very blessed.
Yes, and it looks like we've got two very charismatic students with us. So I'm going to ask you some questions that have been asked in class, Annika and Daniel. So I guess the first question is, Annika, do you get nervous about anything?
I get nervous when I go on stage.
Really? Even though you're at Face School, you get nervous? Well, you're only in kindergarten. Who knows? You could be you could be on Broadway one day. We don't know where you're going to be at.
When I'm on a stage, when I'm singing or dancing with the audience.
Oh, I got it. Okay, okay. So that's a good answer. So Daniel, can you tell me, like when you're nervous, what is your body feeling like inside when you're nervous?
It tingles my head.
Okay, that's a very good answer. Tingles your head. My head tingles a lot too, by the way, in my job. So let me ask you this, Annika. When you're angry, what does your body do when you feel angry?
I stomp on the floor.
Do you want to
Oh.
show them what your body looks like when you're angry?
Okay, so she stomps on the floor. And what does Miss Christine do when one of her students stomps on the floor? What do you do, Miss Christine?
That is a very good question. I would say that first off, I would come alongside students' feelings and try to understand what's going on. Children's behaviors are often communication, and so I would come alongside them and try to find out how I can best support them in their feelings.
Elizabeth, that is how do when young kids are angry, how do they deal with this?
Well, I've been teaching them through multiple class visits, actually, that when we have our feelings, we feel them in our bodies. And then what's important is that we express our feelings. So we say an I message. So I feel angry. And then we follow it up with I need, and then they fill in the blank, right? So if I feel angry, I need some space. Or I feel angry, I need you to say I'm sorry. I feel angry. And we were working actually on something where they were learning empathy, where one child will say what they feel, and then the other child has to repeat what they were saying, and then they switch so that they practice empathy with each other and really actively listening. So I messages are really, really important. We try to start that as young as possible, and I keep repeating it every year as the kids grow up through elementary school and high school.
So, Annika, do you like it when Miss Elizabeth does those lessons? Do you find it helpful?
Yes, definitely, because my mom will love it because she teaches empathy.
Okay, and Daniel, do you agree also? Does it help you when you do those exercises with Miss Christine and Miss Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good answer. So I want to ask you this, Annika. How do you deal with it when if you have a friend who's feeling sad, what message does their body give when they're sad? What are they doing?
Jay.
What do they look like?
Are they crying? Are they crying, Annika, sometimes maybe? Or do they have a sad face?
They just have a sad face. I never saw one. I never saw someone cry in our class.
Not in your class. Well, that's very good. I think we should have all of our kindergarten classes with nobody crying. But if somebody was crying, you would go and try to make them feel better, right?
Yeah.
Right? And you too, Daniel, wouldn't you do that if someone was crying?
Help them by calming them down with something that have a heart and a star.
I like that, Daniel. Daniel's a very caring young man. So can you complete this sentence, Annika? I am feeling scared, I need what?
You need to hold someone's hand.
Okay, is that a good answer, Miss Elizabeth?
Yep, I like it.
Okay, good. Can you tell, Daniel, if your friend is feeling sad? Can you tell if one of your friends is sad? How do you know if they're sad?
Cause it goes in my eye, then it goes in my heart, and then I know what they're feeling.
Okay, so Miss Christine, what Daniel's saying, when you notice all your kindergarten students can they tell when someone is sad in the class?
Can we tell when someone's sad by looking at their bodies?
Yes.
I would say we're on our way. Absolutely.
And what about Annika, when you're in the schoolyard and you're talking to one of your friends, do they act a little different? And do you say to them, "What's wrong with you today?"
I would say, what are you feeling?
Okay, that's good. And Daniel,
What?
who do you ask or tell if you are feeling an emotion? Who do you go to?
Miss Christine.
Oh, Miss Christine. Okay, do you go to Miss Elizabeth too sometimes?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I didn't want Miss Elizabeth to be left out. So, Jamie, let me just go back to you now and ask you a question. Of course, your dossier is sexual education, and that is from kindergarten all the way to grade 11. But this is a very diverse topic, and that's why it's part of our diversity and inclusivity. And obviously, you can't teach kindergarten students the same things as you teach students in grade 5, 6, or high school. So, what are the things you're trying to embed in their minds right now?
So when we're looking at sexuality education content, we're actually it's allowing the students to get to know themselves, to get them to know themselves better, to get to know other people, and what it's doing is promoting egalitarian relationships, right? So this will be useful in the future when they're in relationships, whether they are in loving relationships or relationships with their parents, their peers. So they're learning very young age how to get along with other people, how to look at other people and notice what they're feeling, so that they are able to communicate this later on. When they are in kindergarten, they're learning it at an age appropriate level. They're learning about consent at a very young age. We may not call it consent. We may call it, boundaries. This is my bubble. This is my space. So that when they are a little bit older and they're in relationships with other people, they're able to communicate that better with their peers or their partners, to say, this is my space, I'm not consenting to this, or you've crossed the boundary. So they're able to really, really communicate. At the kindergarten level, they're learning about body parts as well, right? This is the basic things that they need to know for later on when they're starting to go through puberty. If they know about their bodies inside and out, they're able to communicate that and understand why our bodies are changing, why our minds are changing. So we're looking at age appropriate material at all levels in sexuality education content. And at the end of the day, our school's mission really is to help kids to get along with others. So we're teaching them how to socialize. Eventually, if they're in relationships, whether that be sexual relationships or not, they're going to be able to express those feelings and communicate that with their partner.
Terrific. We've wrapped this up perfectly, because now I think people understand why was this topic part of diversity and inclusivity at the EMSB. I want to thank Jamie. I want to thank Miss Christine. I want to thank Miss Elizabeth, and I definitely want to thank Annika and Daniel for joining us. A reminder, everyone, that kindergarten and elementary school registration for the 2022-2023 year at the EMSB continues until February the 4th. For more information, call 514-483-7200 or log on to emsb.qc.ca.